You walk into a room and within 60 seconds, you already know who's upset, who's pretending, and where the tension is sitting. Nobody told you. Nothing happened. You just know. Most people would call that sensitivity, or anxiety, or being too in your head. But neuroscience calls it something else entirely. There's a specific kind of intelligence that doesn't show up on any test. It doesn't get you into gifted programs. It doesn't impress teachers. And it almost never gets called intelligence at all. But it is. Possibly the most sophisticated form of it. You've been the one who noticed the mood shift before anyone spoke. You've been the one who already knew something was wrong when everyone else was still making small talk. You've rehearsed conversations that haven't happened yet, not because you're anxious, but because some part of you has always needed to be prepared. That's not overthinking. That's a brain that was trained under pressure. Psychologists have been studying what happens to intelligence when it develops inside unpredictable environments. And what they've found is this. When safety isn't guaranteed, the brain doesn't shut down. It specializes. It becomes extraordinarily attuned to other people's emotional states, to subtext, to what's being left unsaid, to the gap between what someone's face is doing and what their words are claiming. This is sometimes called hypervigilance, but that's only the stress response name for it. The cognitive version has a different name. Some researchers describe it as an accelerated theory of mind, the ability to model other people's internal states with unusual speed and accuracy. In plain terms, your brain learned to predict people, and it got very, very good at it. But here's what's fascinating, and what most people who have this never realize about themselves. This kind of intelligence doesn't feel like a gift. It feels like a burden. It feels like exhaustion, like knowing too much, like never being able to fully turn off. And that's exactly what makes it so easy to miss. You don't trust compliments easily, not because you're insecure, but because you've learned that people perform. You've seen the difference between what someone says and what they mean often enough that the surface stopped being reliable a long time ago. If this is landing somewhere specific, somewhere you don't usually let things reach, that's what this channel is for. Subscribing means the next one finds you too. There's something pinned in the comments that's directly connected to what we're talking about. If this is hitting in a specific way, go answer it. I read every single one. Here's what's harder to sit with. The same wiring that makes you perceptive makes you slow to feel safe. Not because something is wrong with you, because your nervous system built its model of the world from environments where staying alert was smarter than relaxing. That model kept you intact, and it still runs, even in rooms that don't require it anymore. Psychologists call this a conditioned threat response, but that framing makes it sound like damage. What it actually is loyalty. Your brain is still loyal to the version of you that needed it most. And if this one is hitting somewhere deeper than a video usually reaches, that's worth paying attention to. Some of this runs old. Recognizing it is already something. People with traumatic intelligence were handed a specific curriculum early. It wasn't chosen. It wasn't fair. But what it produced is something rare. A person who moves through the world reading it at a level most people don't know is possible. They're not the loudest in the room. They're the one who already knew what the room needed before anyone asked. That's not sensitivity. That's not anxiety. That's a mind that was forged in something difficult and came out fluent in what most people spend their whole lives trying to understand. If any part of this felt like something you've carried without a name for it, I'd be curious what you'd call it now.